Hi, Maddie and Eli. Daddy here. So I'm out on my daily walk today, but it's actually pretty cold. So I might go home and do this vlog. Um, but with this one, I'm getting back to basics of bonkers stories from my life. I know I've gone a little bit off script recently, gone into some comedy and some music and some more serious vlogs. But anyway, it's just a joy to do them for you, and it gives me something to look forward to each day. So I shall speak to you in a bit. Hi, I'm back again now and warming up. So today I thought I would tell you some bonkers stories from performances that I've done. I suppose, again, I like a scattergun approach. So I'll tell you just vaguely what pops into my head. I was once, very, very early on, in fact, I was still singing baritone then, which is the horror. So it was about 1995, I think. But it was a proper role on stage, and I was very pleased with that. It was, that was marvelous. The only other things I did at the time were Papageno in Magic Flute and Fore Requiem, which I quite enjoyed. But anyway, this was the Pirates of Penzance, and I was playing Samuel, who is the second pirate in command to the Pirate King. And so the show opened with, they had on the stage a kind of little hillock, a kind of mound. And the show opened at the very top of the show after the overture had finished. And we were all in position, by the way, as the overture was finishing. The curtains parted, and there's me as Samuel standing on the top of this hillock holding a barrel above my head. And there's all the pirates around me on a slightly lower level. I'm on top of the hillock. And as at a certain cue point in the music, they disperse across the stage into two groups, one on either side, and I run centre stage, downstage, plonk the barrel down, sit on it, and start singing my opening number. I'm the first person to sing in the show. So anyway, the first night, this went swimmingly. It was marvellous, no problems at all. Although I did get into a little bit of trouble for bringing a real knife on stage. There was no such thing in those days, or at least nowhere near as much youth knife crime as there is now. So we, as performers, were thinking, we're playing pirates. You'd have a cutlass, you'd have a knife. Anyway, I got into trouble for that. But anyway, so second night, curtains part, I'm holding the barrel above my head, I'm listening for the cue in the music. Now, I don't know whether to blame myself or the other pirates, but there was a lot of them, so it's more likely to be their fault. I think the front row didn't move quite as fast as they should have done, which meant the second row, which was directly in front of me, didn't move as quickly as they should have done on the music cue. And I still remember there was a guy in front of me called Sam, who was quite tall for his age. I think he was a good 6 foot by then. And I hear the music cue, I start bringing the barrel down. This is a proper barrel. Okay, it's only like 2.5 feet tall, but it's proper. They have like iron rings around it. It's really heavy. So I bring it down just a nanosecond too early. Comes down on the back of Sam's head, around about there. And with horror, I see blood begin to trickle down his head. I also see him momentarily kind of sway. But he hits his mark, he goes off, he does his thing. I come centre stage, plonk the barrel down, and carry on. And the show went fine. And then in the interval, Sam was in a dreadful state. He was white as a sheet. And that was bonkers. So, yes, I apologise to you, Sam, if you ever watch this. It was an accident, but it was also rather bonkers. Now, there's a tradition in music theatre, not in opera, but in music theatre. And of course, I don't do very much music theatre. I've done very, very little. But last year, in fact, I was doing a production of Gypsy, some of which, of course, is online, so you can see it. And there's a tradition in music theatre during the rehearsal, well, from the dress rehearsal onwards, and the performance run, of whoever makes the biggest mistake that night gets the donkey. And of course, nobody wants to get the donkey. But if you get the donkey, then you keep the donkey until the next performance, or matinee, where someone else gets the donkey. Anyway, so obviously music theatre, it was new to me. It was one of my first productions I'd ever done in music theatre. And I loved that show. I mean, the music's just stunning. And apparently, at the time it was written, Stephen Sondheim wasn't considered famous enough to write the music. I think it was Bette Midler, who it was written for, basically vetoed him and said, no, I want someone else. But he can write the lyrics. So, and of course, Sondheim went on to be more famous than any of them. But hey, that's the amazing business. But anyway, no, the story I'm telling was I've never got the donkey because I'm generally, not that I'm always fine. I mean, we all make mistakes, and as musicians, in fact, some of the greatest live performances of all time are full of mistakes, but they have this burning passion. It kind of works. I don't mind mistakes at all. If you play without love or heart, then I will care and notice. But if you play some wrong notes, it really doesn't bother me. Pavarotti used to sing wrong words all the time. But anyway, so, and that was his home tongue, that was his actual language. But anyway, so yes, I've never got the donkey or anything like that because playing piano and conducting, which is what I was doing in that show, obviously as an opera singer I can't sing in something like Gypsy. It would sound ridiculous. But I was a music director for it. And playing piano to me and conducting or directing an ensemble is a little like talking to you now. I don't really think about it. It's second nature. It doesn't really. I look over the score once and it just kind of works. It's like breathing. So anyway, so I never expected to get the donkey. However, what sometimes happens with a new production is the director will change their minds about certain timings and the way things work or sound effects or whatever. So in this particular case, the director came up after, I think it wasn't the first show. I think it might have been dress rehearsal, 2 shows, and then, so I was used to doing it a different way. I think after 2 shows, the director came up and said, very good director, and said, could you cut like another 20 seconds, if you can, out of the overture? Because it just feels unwieldy. It's getting too long. So I said, yeah, fine. So I consulted with my fellow musicians and we worked out where we could cut. And I mean, I don't have the music here, but I vaguely remember it was from where the xylophone and clarinets go yum ba bum ba bum ba ba yum ba bum ba ba, and we cut that to the end where the clarinet goes and you get the band going and it was very exciting. It was fabulous. However, that night, so we mark it in. All the musicians have it in the band. We all have it. I have it on my score. But like I said, the problem is when you're really into the show and really getting into it, and you're used to playing it. So like I said, the second nature thing sometimes works against you. I completely forgot the cut. Every other member of the band went with the cut and they were right. I did not. I carried on with this. And it was blatantly obvious. So anyway, so the overture finishes very badly, and then the show goes on, and there were no other mistakes from the band or me in the rest of the show. So I spent most of the show thinking, I'm going to get the donkey. I mean, this has to be. I have to be the one that gets the donkey because I'm the one that bucketed it up. And then the most beautiful thing happens. There's a singer delivering their song on stage. I won't say who it was. But of course, Gypsy set in the 20s and 30s. And the irony was that they made an announcement at the top of the show to the audience saying this is set in the 20s and 30s before the invention of the mobile phone, so please turn yours off and make sure that yeah. Anyway, so this guy is on stage singing his song. And of course, as conductor, I'm also playing keyboard, so I'm directly in front of the stage. So I can conduct everyone from here, but I can also play everything here as well. And a mobile phone slips out of his costume pocket and lands on the stage with a large crash, at which point I kind of glance up and go, yes, now I won't get the donkey. And it was such a beautiful moment because although it was a big mistake and I should have been really cross, I really couldn't be because it saved me getting the donkey. So I've just noticed the time on this is running on a little long, So I'll cut this short, and I'll do more bonkers performance stories very soon. And Daddy loves you always. Mwah. Stay safe, and I love you.